My grandson works at McDonald's for minimum wage in Arizona. He doesn't need to make $15 an hour. The wage in place for entry-level employees is so that they can get a job. If you're supporting a family of four, you definitely shouldn't be working a minimum wage job.
Here's the thing. Opponents of minimum wage increases can pretend that the only people working these jobs are 16-year-olds just trying to save up for a bag of weed that's actually oregano. But the truth is, half of the people who benefit from a minimum wage increase are between the ages of 25 and 54. And over a quarter of them have children. I mean, it would be nice if only teenagers had to work these jobs, just like it would be nice if teenagers were the only ones who ran away from home when life got too tough. But that's just not reality. And you'd think this would be easy for politicians to understand. But the problem is a lot of them just aren't looking at the data. Instead, they're reminiscing about how things were when they last worked a minimum wage job.
Growing up in a small town, I worked for less than the minimum wage. I started bussing tables at $1 an hour. I went up to $2.25 when they moved me up in the place, and then I finally made it to cook, which was big time. That was $6 an hour.
My first job was also working for minimum wage at a cell barn, $1.60 an hour in 1976. That's right, I was scooping cow manure for $1.60 an hour. But within a month's time, I'd worked myself up. I got a dime raise. I worked with about 15 other high school classmates through high school and junior college and helped me not have any debt when I finished college as well.
Yeah, I used to work minimum wage shoveling shit, and now look at me. I get a senator's salary for shoveling shit. The irony is that without realizing it, these guys are making a great case for raising the minimum wage. If the minimum wage these senators earned back in the day had kept pace with inflation, it would be way higher than the $7.25 that it is now. And it's great that Senator Marshall left college debt-free thanks to his cow poop side hustle. But that's because back when he graduated, his college cost $900 a year. That's what these old dudes don't realize. When they tell these stories about, I had to walk 10 miles from my house, all young people today think is, God damn, you could afford a house? Man, that's balling. So, despite how some people think of the minimum wage, there are many adults who do need to live on it. Now, that's not to say that raising the minimum wage is a magic bullet, because it turns out it does have a few downsides.
The Congressional Budget Office finds raising the federal minimum wage would pull 900,000 people out of poverty and give about 27 million workers a raise, 27 million. But it comes at a cost. The CBO says that increase would cost 1.4 million jobs and raise the federal deficit by $54 billion over a decade. So there's a trade-off here.
That's right. If the CBO projections are correct, then raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour would help millions of people. But it would also mean fewer jobs overall. So you can't ignore that there may be some trade-offs here. But then again, that's the case with all policies. I mean, if you ban assault rifles, it'll save lives. But then Don Jr. would have nothing to pose with to let people know how big his penis is. So look, there is nuance there. But if you ask me, if a job cannot exist unless it pays unsustainable wages, then maybe that job shouldn't exist. Like maybe America has to find another way to help those people losing those jobs, or the businesses who need those jobs. But America needs to do something about the minimum wage, because the solution can't be maintaining the current situation where you work full-time and still can't make ends meet. I mean, if that's allowed to continue, America will be in such deep shit that even a senator couldn't shovel out of it.